What does it mean to truly apologize for guilt-tripping someone? If you're beginning to recognize this behavior in yourself and you're ready to take responsibility and make a change, then first of all, acknowledge how powerful that is. It takes real strength to own up to something that may have hurt others, especially when you didn't mean to. But making an apology, a genuine one, can be a huge step toward healing your relationships and building new patterns of communication that feel healthier and more respectful. So, how do you do it? How do you apologize for guilt-tripping someone without making it about excuses or brushing it off as no big deal? It starts with taking responsibility. That means acknowledging not just what you did, but how it may have made the other person feel. It means sitting with the fact that, whether you intended to or not, your words or actions may have made someone feel uncomfortable, pressured, or even hurt. And that matters. It's easy to slip into justification mode. Things like, well, I only said that because I was stressed, or I didn't mean it like that. But that doesn't help the other person feel heard. What really matters is that you recognize the impact. You might say something like, I've been thinking about some of the ways I've communicated with you, and I realize now that I've used guilt to express myself. I can see how that might have made you feel uncomfortable or pressured, and I'm really sorry for that. Simple, honest, and to the point. You're not over-explaining. You're not making excuses. You're owning it. After that comes the actual apology. And here's the important bit. It has to come from a place of empathy. Not just ticking a box so you can move on. You want the other person to feel that you get why it hurt them. You might say, I'm truly sorry for using guilt to express my feelings or get my needs met. I care about you, and I want our relationship to feel safe, open, and based on respect, not emotional pressure. That lets them know that you're not just sorry about what happened, but that you also care enough to make a change. Now, if you're serious about shifting this pattern, and I believe you are, otherwise you wouldn't be listening, you'll also want to invite their support. No one changes overnight. These kinds of habits, especially if they've been with you for a long time, take time and effort to unlearn. So let the other person know that you're working on it and that you value their feedback. You could say something like, I'm trying to get better at communicating without guilt. If you ever feel like I've slipped back into old habits, please tell me. I want to know so I can do better. This does two things. First, it shows that you're not just apologizing and moving on, you're actively working on yourself. Second, it helps rebuild trust because it tells the other person that their perspective matters and that you're not afraid to be called out if needed. That kind of honesty creates a much more open and trusting relationship. Now let's talk about support, real support. Because yes, it's helpful to have your loved ones on board, but sometimes, especially when guilt-tripping is a deeply ingrained habit, you might need a bit more guidance. If this behavior is rooted in low self-esteem, unresolved trauma, or long-standing emotional patterns, it might be time to consider professional help. There's absolutely no shame in that. In fact, it's one of the strongest things you can do. Seeing a therapist or counselor gives you a space to explore where these behaviors come from and how you can begin to shift them in a lasting way. You could even let the person you've apologized to know that you're thinking about speaking to someone to show them that you're serious about making this change. You might say, I've realized that some of this behavior is probably tied to things I haven't fully worked through, and I'm considering speaking to a therapist about it. I want to do the work, for me and for this relationship. That kind of statement can be really powerful. It tells the other person that you're not just trying to fix things on the surface, you're committed to understanding yourself better and doing what it takes to grow. But here's the key part. None of this means anything if it's not followed up with action. It's one thing to apologize. It's another to show that apology through consistent effort. That means continuing to practice direct, respectful communication. It means taking a breath when you feel the urge to say something guilt-laden and choosing different words. It means staying open to feedback and being willing to course correct when needed. You'll probably make mistakes along the way. You might have moments where you fall back into old habits. But that's okay. What matters is that you stay aware, stay honest, and keep showing up with the intention to do better. Over time, these efforts start to add up. You'll not only become more confident in expressing your needs clearly, but you'll also start to feel more secure in yourself. That's the real reward, not just stronger relationships, but a stronger, more grounded sense of who you are. So as you move forward, keep in mind that this journey isn't about perfection. It's about learning, adjusting, and continuing to grow. Apologizing for guilt-tripping someone is a huge step. Asking for their support and considering professional help if you need it, that's how you make sure that step turns into lasting change. And that brings us to our final wrap-up. This whole course has been about building awareness, understanding where guilt-tripping comes from, and learning how to communicate in ways that feel more respectful, more honest, and more empowering. In the next module, we'll explore how to truly close the loop, how to make amends, stay accountable, and continue growing beyond this course. You've already shown so much courage by coming this far. Keep going. You're doing the work, and it's making a difference. Not just in how you relate to others, but in how you relate to yourself. And that's the most powerful change of all.